Today's case study will be on the cast of Friends negotiating their salaries per episode. Through this study, we will focus on the negotiations, who's involved, the positions and interests of those involved. We will look at the positives and negatives of the negotiation, and we will also see what happens in the end. The cast of Friends came together as a team to negotiate with NBC about their salaries. It was David Schwimmer who convinced the cast to step up to NBC together so no one would individually get handled by the company. Parties involved were Lisa Kudrow, Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox Arquette, Matt LeBlanc, Matthew Perry, and David Schwimmer, NBC, and also Warner Brothers. There's only been a few shows that successfully negotiated their salary contracts, and that is Seinfeld, Big Bang Theory, Modern Family, and The Simpsons. The cast held their positions by forming a party of many to negotiate their salary contracts. NBC knew if they didn't negotiate, it would make some cast members consider leaving. At this time, NBC couldn't afford that chance of losing the popularity of the show, or money would possibly be lost. Although Warner Brothers were more like a third party, they and NBC created a great relationship producing the show. The interests of the negotiation were fairness. Schwimmer decided to allow his co-stars to make the money he was being offered because everyone was essential to the show. Money was an interest as well for NBC and Warner Brothers because a show that usually runs 85 to 100 episodes are usually compensated handsomely once royalties begin to come in. Syndication was an interest because the show's creators purposely wrote the last episode for a possible return. This would keep fans and their viewers interested throughout the rerun phase. Royalties was an interest as well for the network companies because of the 10-year run. A show like Friends would generate excessive royalties. For example, the show Seinfeld generated $3 billion from its last episode. Status was one of the negotiation techniques. The desire to feel fairly seen and acknowledged. The cast saw every role important to the success of the show and decided equal pay was fair. Objective criteria was a negotiation technique, and autonomy, the desire to make your own choices and control your own fate. Since the negotiation agreement was made in the third season, the cast demanded that future negotiations be held with the cast and executives of the show. The positive of the negotiation was that underpaid co-stars who were not as cinematic friendly as others would be appreciated like the rest. The negative of the negotiations was favoritism. David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston were given more money because of their relationship in the show around the third season. The problem with that was that the show was called Friends, and the cast still had equal parts. The agreement was for all cast members to be treated equally for the show's entirety, through salary promotions and equal airtime. The agreement left the cast and NBC, also as Warner Brothers, with a good relationship. Even though the show actually lost money in its last season, I'm sure that loss has been covered since the show has been in syndication on multiple networks. Working together for 10 years and having to separate, I'm sure can be tough.